And did you write it? They don't want them to have nuclear. Could a woman make your team? What do you think? I don't know. I don't think we have a great team behind us.
I say this to all the Americans.
It's pretty much proceeded that way. They're not happy about anything. It's not that easy for them to come. They have to come in legally. Too much devastation. Let them into our country. They'll destroy these people. It's a terrible thing. I hate to see it. Who are you playing tonight? Especially with war. Things change. He was never for open borders. You'll never lose, right? I hate to see all that death, so much.
The Ayatollah's gone into hiding.
Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. I've been saying it for a long time. Death and destruction. Situation room, as some people call it. I think the auto pen ran the White House. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. And now they're not bullies anymore. We have the best military equipment. But he wasn't for open borders. There was no reason for Russia, Ukraine. Now it's a harder thing to sign, you know. I didn't want to tell them that before they stood out. I would say right now, Israel.
The whole world's watching.
They'd use it. You know, I believe they'd use it. I've had friends, they heard about this meeting.
Fly them next year.
And they're largely sold out. A lot of good things are happening. He was here, actually. Oh, let's watch this. Brian, go ahead. Are you okay? They'll be checking you. You won't believe it. Bottom line is they can't have nuclear. You know, it's very, I say it very simply. What he's done to this country, it's not him. He wasn't for transgender for everybody.
Missouri Senator Josh Hawley came out this week.
And you have two great American players.
Is that a prerequisite for a deal? Is that a red line?
They asked if they could come. We'll see if that happens.
Can you comment on the impact of the Trump card?
Nobody's able to see him stealth. Did anybody write that story about the war? War's very bad. Well, we raised the American flag for you guys today.
Trump had lunch with Pakistan's army chief.
The liberal politicians are destroying our country. As we used to say liberal, now they say progressive. It comes from a lineage of winners.
Seems like something's about to happen.
I'm Billy Atwell with the America First Policy Institute.
We're going to see. We're in the midst of it. I like to make the final decision 1 second before. I don't want to fight either. I'm not looking to fight. You people ought to start looking at it. That's a takeover. Frankly, you know, it's a little bit of a, you can be a criminal, you can be a drug dealer, and you have no problem. I'd have to speak to Josh. He's a very good friend of mine.
It stands out because he's a Republican.
I think they were a few weeks away from having one. If you come in through the southern border, you have no problem. They have to say they love America. They love our country. No, we put it so that Marine One is very far away. He had no idea what was going on. Everybody knows that. Like some of these guys behind me, they have to come in legally.
It's the biggest moment of the Trump presidency. Trump's not showing his cards yet.
He wasn't for men playing in women's sports. Now, look, we have to take care of our farmers. I have a plan for everything, but we'll see what happens. I'd say once the race was over, he's been with me ever since. We have planes that are undetectable, flying around, I've been saying, for 20 years, maybe longer.
China and Russia surveying the scene.
I guess you saw yesterday came out with China. They realized they don't even have to get permission. But death primarily is what I hate to see. The game is, where's it over in D.C.?
Do you support the legislation or the idea?
Well, I haven't seen it, you know. He was never heard that. Have you ever had women? He's largely sold out. Like tonight, it's totally. You have to have a certain distance. We're about 3 times that distance. It's a shame it could have been done the easy way. You guys want to be stealthy tonight, you know, you can be stealthy. They had to sign a document. I think they wish they signed it. I said, Vladimir, let's mediate Russia first. It's totally sold out, I hope. Right? Of course, yeah. Okay, good. They wish they did it. And they want to meet. With the war, it can go from one extreme to the other. And Johnny's right here, so anybody have any questions? But it's, you know, it's a little late to meet, but they want to meet. They were both here, but I was with Modi a few weeks ago. Almost 50% of them murdered more than one person. They should have made the deal. I had a great deal for them. They want to come to the White House. They'll even come to the White House, so we'll see. Maybe we won't have to fight. Don't forget, we haven't been fighting. You can't get out because there's bombs dropping all over the place.
This is a different kind of Iranian hostage crisis.
We have to take care of people that run leisure, hotels. Do we have anybody in here that's a member of the... No, I don't think so. I have ideas as to what to do, but I haven't made a final.
Do you have a plan for what you think?
How you got to where you are and making your decision now?
Well, no, it's just something that people talk about having.
Trump says, good luck with that. We won't be bullied.
Washington has failed us. It's now time to act.
Look right up there. I don't know. See the Declaration of Independence. Ted Cruz is a nice guy. I mean, he's been with me for a long time. But most importantly, we have to get the criminals out of our country. The Air Force, with everybody. And everybody signed off on it. Their whole life will be destroyed because of this press conference. Watch. They can't get out. You know, they're in Iran. What a disgrace. They have $53 billion. I want to thank him for not going into the war, just, ending the war. Tucker's a nice guy. He called and apologized the other day.
President Trump's pay-to-play scheme, ignoring the actual pardon crisis that's taking place right now.
Looks nice out there, doesn't it? Beautiful. Even you agree, right?
They were very upset. They wanted Bernie Sanders.
Prime Minister Modi just left, just a little while ago. Just left.
We're at this moment in history because of Obama and Biden.
Hi, I'm Dylan Jeremiah, Director of Government Affairs at Family Policy Alliance.
Any illegal immigrants in there? If they were, they'll find out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they know Iran very well. That's interesting that Josh did that. I'm going to have to think about that one.
My Republican colleagues are eager to discuss President Biden's pardons.
We gave them 5, 6, and some people say it's as much as 9 billion.
Mr. Walczak's mother attended a $1 million a person Trump fundraiser.
They've been completely humiliated by a tiny Jewish nation.
The more Congress delays, the more the American people suffer.
I think it's one of the greatest scandals in the history of this country, one of the biggest scandals. We're having a meeting in an hour, have a meeting downstairs in 1 hour, yeah.
What's your message to farmers?
We got to get the bad people out of here.
I don't think he's too worried about the travel ban. He doesn't know what the travel ban is, I don't think. Johnny, tell me what the travel ban is. He doesn't know what it is.
The generals say yes, but Trump's not completely convinced.
The license plates, tens of thousands of cards. Now we're going to put up a beautiful flagpole and we're going to put up a flag.
Are they sure if he uses them, they'll be 100% effective?
Fellas, tell me, you think? You're being nice.
Do you know the latest on the evacuations out of Israel, Mr. President? Have
No.
you been updated on that?
No. Certain countries take advantage of that. Israel has incredible weaponry.
We have a thing called the Trump card. This has not been done before or thought of.
Have you closed the door on meeting with them?
No.
Okay,
No.
so it's still open to them coming.
He thought he said things that were a little bit too strong, and I appreciated that. Do you agree now? Most of you agree. We're the only ones that have the capability to do it, but that doesn't mean I'm going to do it at all.
They were bullies. They were schoolyard bullies.
Owner of the team, he's a fantastic business person, a young guy.
I use the word liberal. Progressive's too nice a word because they're destroying the country. I was the hunted, and now I'm the hunter. It's a big difference.
Anything about the World Cup or the game tonight, but anything about the World Cup would be great. A lot of water over the dam. But
It's the first ever Club World Cup, and it's played in the United States of America.
Tulsi Gabbard said the Iranians were enriching uranium at record levels.
But if you go and graduate #1 in your class from a great school, you can't get a job.
we're working a trade deal with India. We're working a trade deal with Pakistan.
I said, do me a favor. Mediate your own. Let's mediate Russia first, okay?
Hi, I'm David Vasquez. I'm a senior energy policy analyst at the America First Policy Institute.
Oh, did you write it? You wrote it. Biden let in thousands and 11,888 murderers.
Fellas, 1 out of 10, John. 1 out of 10, but that's a really good question. We add a certain amount of genius to everything, but we haven't been fighting at all.
Now he no longer must pay $4.4 million to the taxpayers of this country.
They want to see me in the White House. That's a big statement, but it's very late.
For the past 24 hours, Israel's been attacking the area around his underground lair.
That whole thing is coming to an end. It's amazing what we found out. We have to have it far away. It's very far from Marine One's out there. It's out in the field.
Now we speak to him, and I'm so happy. There was a deal that 2 smart people, others won't use it, but I believe they'd use it. So that's it. It's very simple as far as I'm concerned.
The last administration was rudderless from one crisis to another.
I can't imagine that Ted Cruz said it's okay for Iran to have nuclear, including Tucker. I would have preferred having just an agreement, a strong agreement, verifiable agreement. They said, can you get me tickets? I don't know if I can get tickets. He won't give them to me. Maybe John will give them to me. They know them both, actually, but maybe they know Iran better.
Israel destroying Iranian helicopters and missile launchers as it targets the Iranian nuclear program.
If they think that it's okay for Iran to have a nuclear weapon, then they should oppose me.
We're going to sell that to people, in some cases wealthy, in some cases not wealthy.
I have not. I've been asked about it by everybody, but I haven't made a decision.
Today's hearing is about competency corruption and cover-up.
They emptied out, there's just many of them. I would. If I were running one of the countries, I would have emptied out my prison population.
Had an impact in kind of your evolution, sir?
Look, we talk, and I'd like to see everything. Iran was very close to signing what would have been a very good agreement for them, and maybe that could still happen. I think it started the first night. I mean, that first night was devastating, and
The Emirati team.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's
strong.
good. Well, they spent a lot of money.
Apparently, armchair diagnosing former President Biden is more important than the issues.
President Donald Trump approved attack plans on Iran, but he still has not made a final decision on whether to strike.
They'll be paid for by universities. Look at Harvard. They got $53 billion. He's a so-and-so. This one is from you-know-where. Don't worry. I think you're going to be okay.
It really knocked the one side off, as you know. Devastating evening, day. The Civil War, it always seemed to me maybe that could have been solved without losing 600,000 plus people. These are incredible planes and weapons. We have the best weapons in the world, by far. Nobody close. Where are you, my American players?
Over there.
They're fantastic, so good luck.
Thank you.
I hope you're going to be the two best players in the field. He was never for, if you think, he was never for transgender for everybody or men playing in women's sports.
The generals were lured into a small bunker in Tehran before Israel wiped them out with a precision airstrike.
I stopped a war between two major nations, major nuclear nations. I don't think I had a story written about it, but that's okay.
So with the streets teetering and its military commanders assassinated, a nuke might be the Ayatollah's only hope.
Whether or not the United States should strike is kind of dividing a lot of your supporters.
No, my supporters are for me.
36 cases have been accepted by U.S. attorneys for prosecution, with 11 arrests and 3 convictions.
For $5 million, this is usually people that would either be working for companies like Apple, I think is going to buy a lot of them, because they can't get people into the country.
His pardon application explicitly cited millions of dollars his mother raised for President Trump's campaigns and other efforts to support the...
It's Lisa and this one and that, all these people, all this scum that was around the Oval, the Oval Office or around the beautiful Resolute desk.
Whistleblowers have also told me that Jack Smith's deputy, J.P. Cooney, wanted to open more cases on Trump. The question is, what did the president actually know or even understand, and who was actually running the government? But regardless,
President Trump pardoned Paul Walzak, who pleaded guilty in 2024 to withholding over $7 million of taxes from his employees' paychecks.
Weaponization was done. Look at the FBI's Arctic Frost investigation, which ultimately became one of Jack Smith's cases against President Trump. The Biden Health and Human Services also failed to address the backlog of over 65,000 reports expressing concern for unaccompanied children.
Unconditional surrender. That means I've had it. Okay, I've had it, I give up. It's very late to be talking. We may meet, I don't know.
That memo used the shoddy research of the radical Southern Poverty Law Center to accuse traditional Catholics of being violent extremists.
The Trump administration has removed dozens of senior career prosecutors and FBI officials with decades of national security expertise, leaving our nation more vulnerable to terrorism.
Well, President Trump, ostensibly there to talk about his flagpoles, the best flagpoles anywhere in the world. They're tapered and they have a nice top. But perhaps more importantly, ask questions about Iran.